the wall you see behind me won't always be behind me. We will be playing around with a green screen, but it's still kind of on delivery. So for today's video, yeah, you get to stare at a crazy regular wall behind me. But most importantly today, we want to talk multiclassing. So multiclassing is fun because you might be thinking, well, I have fun playing my ranger, but he's very egotistical and he's kind of cocky, and it'd be great if he could tell stories about himself and it would kind of help things out. So maybe you want to mix him up with a bard. Maybe you want to, get some spells that are available for, say, a sorcerer that's not quite available for your warlock character that you're playing. There's a lot of things that you can do with multiclassing that makes your character even more interesting, that will help develop how your character is played in the game. Maybe it's how you're already role-playing the character, maybe it's how you see your character going forward. Maybe you have some ideas of something that inspired you to push one way, to perhaps, want to make magical herbs, or maybe you see your barbarian wanting to take some paladin levels in order to be able to wear heavier armor or different things of that sort. We can help you with that. So first and foremost, one of the most important rules right out the gate of multiclassing is you have to meet the proficiency levels for those. So, like, for example, barbarian, you have to have a proficiency of strength of 13. So say you have a really strong warlock that has a lot of built up rage that wants to just let it out. He still has to have that strength of 13. So one thing that I do, we're going to homebrew here for a minute. One thing that I do that others might not do is we can try to make that work one way or another. Say you start hitting the gym in the role playing, or maybe you start harnessing that rage like we were talking about to build up your 11 to a 13. Talk to your DM about this, obviously, because not all DMs are the same. And that is another topic for another video. But there is lots of things that you can do within the realms that are set out by the regular original handbook that can make this a lot of fun. But what if you're wanting to gain more extra hit points as opposed to what you already have? Say you're a warlock, you get your D6. Well, you want, since we've already been going with the barbarian subclass, or not subclass, but multiclass, you want those hit points. A little too late. But if you were to flip the roles, being a barbarian wanting warlock spells by dabbling in some darker magic, that would work to where you're still getting your D12 hit points and you wouldn't have to drop down to a D6. So you keep whatever original hit dice you roll with at the beginning throughout. Now, cautionary point right here as well, if you try to multiclass, you may lose out on some of those max things that you would get at level 20, but however, you might be able to sweet talk your DM into maybe a couple of them. Your proficiencies will still stay the same throughout, so you won't drop or you won't gain. So if you are a level, let's say 5 for example, and that is actually like a level 3 ranger, level 2 bard, you will be then level 5 still with your proficiencies, so you'll still gain the +3. So there's a lot of things like that that stay the same, but then you also gain extra benefits from taking those levels. So if you had 2 levels in Bard, then you're getting the level 2 Bard benefits, such as Song of Rest and different things like that, that could really play well into some great roleplay, as well as maybe some helpful things after a long battle. Spellcasting is determined by individual levels and classes. It's determined what spells you know. For example, as level 7 player who multiclasses as a level 4 druid and a level 3 ranger, you would know 3 cantrips as your druid, and your spell slots would be 4 first level, 3 second level, 3 third, and 1 fourth. And then your ranger side would know like 3 spells. So you would only know first level spells as a ranger. So that's where your limit would be, say, picking things like Goodberry, Hunter's Mark, things like that. But for your druid, obviously your well would be much bigger because you'd be able to get some of your higher end druid spells. So there's a lot to multiclassing, and it can be confusing. But take a deep breath, look at it all, ask questions, learn, and most importantly, have fun.